and whatever action they have taken in the past. Now, this could also, though, be that the feelings that they have had for you in the past are, coming out in the open. There may be a conversation about that with the Ace of Swords, but we are talking about clarity about past issues. Now, moving into the Emperor with the Nine of Pentacles, right now, what I feel like is the both of you are not, like, let's say you're with this person right now, that you're actually in a relationship with this person. You're not doing things together. I don't feel like how do I say this? You're not being overly controlling, but I think that there is a part of you that wants to control what is going on within the relationship, because this person is not like acting distant from you, but they're doing things independently and not with you. Now, the truth, though, may be that this person just, wants to be single. And for you, this is, well, then I need to get control and order and stability in my life. I can't let, this kind of chaos continue to upset me, and I say that because of the Five of Cups being the overall, but there is going to be like this disappointment over things not working out in the past and the way that this person feels about the relationship with you now. Right? Because they may just want to be single. They may want to do things on their own. They may want more independence from you in the relationship. But I would say to Cap, be careful about, like, allowing someone else to have too much control. And certainly, don't get involved in a relationship where you start feeling like you need to be more controlling. Now, in terms of what that means later, the thing is that for you with the Sun, not only are you seeing things clearly when it comes to this person and their actions, I think that, the both of you are getting caught up in some passion and new energy between the two of you, because they may be coming towards you with this Knight of Wands. But I don't like it because what's surrounding it. Now, the Knight of Wands would be a great thing in terms of getting swept up in the passion and feeling that and acting toward that. The Sun would show that there is new energy being brought to you in the relationship. But the thing is they don't follow through. And I say that because of what is going on in the outcome here, okay? But I think that with the Sun, this is something that, you have had to face, or like you have had to see about this person. And some of you may feel like, this person has been allowed to get away with too much because of the Emperor, and this feeling of, now we need order. Now we need control, right? But I just think that you're dealing with somebody who is like on and off with you in terms of, wanting to be committed, I think is the issue. I don't doubt that they have the passion that they do for you, because they wouldn't be the Knight of Wands coming directly at you and trying to, bring this new energy, this new light. The problem is with the Three of Swords and the Three of Wands, I kind of look at this as, obviously, Cap, especially with the Five of Cups, you're going to be hurt and disappointed by this person because they're not going to follow through. Just as quickly as they come in, they turn around. And with the Hangman, it's like, in terms of commitment, or in terms of like wanting to be in a long-lasting relationship, they immediately go into this place of, well, hang on a second, right? With the Three of Wands, if the disappointment is about this person and not being able to follow through, it's because they're constantly looking at what else is available to them, because they're like putting themselves out there. I think that you may be involved with a person where, you may be finding out that they, like, I kind of look at this as like sometimes as like dating apps. You may like literally be finding out that, they've got a profile somewhere on like Tinder or Bumble or some shit, Now that's only going to be for some of you. For others of you, it's the heartbreak is going to cause you to want to, expand yourself somewhere else. That's usually how I look at the Three of Wands. But then also, what I worry about here is you expected this from this person. I think that, they started the action, you put forth your part, but now you're waiting for them, but they're not doing anything with the hangman. What they feel or what they did feel in the past is not a part of the future with you. But I think that they're fully aware of the fact that they're going to be letting you down. So with the Three of Cups, yeah, we could be, especially with the Three of Swords, I mean, come on. You know, we could be talking about other people being involved. But if that's not the case, what bothers me here is that, if we're talking about like reunion and celebration with the Page of Pentacles, it's because at some point here they're talking about, rebuilding the relationship with you. But you're waiting, but they don't do anything. Right? Now, the same could be said though for them, that they're expecting something. And if they're looking at you as the Empress, because of them being on hold with the Hangman, I don't think that it's about caring, giving, nurturing on their part. I think that they're wanting you to provide something for them. Like you're literally dealing with somebody who feels like you should be taking care of them, or that is your responsibility. But with the Six of Swords, that's something that you are trying to move on from. Like, I need you to give something back to me. I can't be the one constantly caring and giving to you. And then, with the Ten of Cups here, I think that they know that you could create this very happy situation for them. This happily ever after, but they don't see it that way with the Hangman. And that's where the change of perspective needs to come through. But I literally feel like they go back on, what they initially wanted to do with you. Like, I have this passion for this person, I need to go, and they immediately act, but they don't think about what that means later on. But what's sad here is that, this could have been a very happy situation. Now, the other thing though too is, Cap, let me just say that if you are the female in this situation, whether you're dealing with a male or female, if they see you as the Empress, what I worry about here is this person may only be, wanting to rebuild things with you because there is the connection with, children, possibly with the Empress. Like, you are the baby mama, right? Not that you're causing any drama. It's just that they see that as the reason why they should. But the thing is that the passion dies out somewhere, you know? And they want to have a happy family situation here. But the thing is like I said, it's like the passion just doesn't follow through. It would be completely different, Cap, completely different if we weren't looking at the Five of Cups and then you have the Eight of Cups. You have been getting as much as you can emotionally to the situation to try to make this person happy or to bring them this overall happiness, but if you're not getting it, then this is where I think that it hurts, it sucks, but you need to move on and you have to stop giving emotionally to this, right? Oh, Cap, this one is a little bit difficult. Yeah, I feel like despite the fact that your heart is going to be broken because of this person letting you down, you can't keep waiting for them to show up when you need them or waiting for them to give you what you need to, make this relationship better. And then the devil. Okay. I think that this is going to be, for those of you who may be focused on someone where clearly, the relationship has ended in one way or another, but we're also talking about things changing, though, with death. I think that in the past, some of you may have been in a relationship with somebody who, was just kind of like following their passions wherever it would take them. That's kind of how I see the Emperor. It's somebody who is always wanting to act toward that passionate feeling, but there's no like feeling of like commitment or like. I kind of look at him as in this, whether you're dealing with a male or female, really shows the personality of another person. So, like, let's say, for instance, that this is a male. This is one of those guys that, he wants to stay available to any type of woman. Like, I don't want to say that he'll sleep with anything that walks, But for some of you, yeah, you could literally have been dealing with a person that was like that. Now if it's a female, they are only driven by, that passion, right? But death is saying that something has changed. Now this person's personality may have changed, though, because of it creating an ending, which is possible. Because you move into the Ace of Pentacles, but the thing is with the Fool, what I feel like, Cap, and what's funny is the Fool was something that was big with Capricorn, especially when, I first started doing these readings, the general readings. The Fool was always showing up for Cap. I don't know why I'm going back to that and thinking about that. But anyway, there may be an opportunity that is being presented to you from this person if they have changed, if they're like trying to show you that they have changed, because they're trying to show that, they're wanting to make this a long-lasting relationship, right? I want to be in a committed relationship now. But with the Fool, I think, Cap, you are wanting to take a completely different path in your love life now, because I don't feel like you trust this person. And for a lot of you, though, even though this is where, you're kind of at with the Hermit, I think that you kind of move into a place of considering getting involved again, but it's only because with the Devil, we're talking about, lust. And that's all it is. It's physical attraction. There really is nothing there. And I think that, you don't trust this person. You don't believe them if they've tried to tell you that they have changed. I don't know that you want to have a new beginning. But let me just say that if for some of you, you decide to start again with this person, this is going to be a problem. I question on whether or not this person's personality has actually changed. Because you're going to be in a place of, this isn't really what I wanted. And then you have the Five of Pentacles. You don't want to have just this lustful kind of connection. You want to have a romantic relationship. And that is where you are in deep thought. But I think that, if this person is wanting to have a new start with you, they aren't giving you that. I don't, because of the Devil, I don't feel like they're giving you that. And the thing is if you want to have that kind of romantic relationship where, you feel good about who you are, right? Like, love yourself first. We hear it all the time, but this person may have done like some damage to you, though, where you may feel like, I don't want to say that you don't feel like you're good enough, but you may not have been enough for this person to get them to settle down. And that's not a good feeling. And I say that because of the Page of Pentacles with the past and the relationship, souring and the bitterness that's there. So you may have a lot of bitter feelings towards this person. And it doesn't really matter if, they have changed. But with the Sun, though, this is what I worry about. You may be looking at this relationship like this was really great. It was a really good relationship at one point. And that, I think, is where you're wanting it to go. But with the Devil, it's not happening, Cap. It's not happening. And you need to continue on this path towards something better. But I wonder if they don't stop you. Oh, Cap. And again, this is only going to be for some of you. You're going to know what I'm talking about with the personality of the person with the Emperor showing up. Especially if they're coming to you now going, I've changed. No, they haven't. No, they haven't, Cap. And you may have a lot of romantic feelings for this person, but I certainly, and I hate your card. I hate that, you are the Devil. I was thinking about this before I even started your reading. I think that we need to give a new card to Cap in the majors, and I think you should be the World. I really do. But anyway, despite the fact that there may be those, romantic feelings, I think about the Five of Pentacles, and yeah, there is something lacking, but I don't think it's on your part, Cap. So I look at retreat, and I think that there are too many things going on in the day-to-day life that may be putting like a damper on your relationship with this person. And I think that the two of you just need to spend some time together and disconnect from all of the shit that may be going on outside of your relationship. The Four of Cups is going to show the routine. It's the same thing. It's the same thing over and over again. We're just falling into this pattern, and things are just kind of like blah. And with the Ten of Wands, there may have been some consideration here on just dropping the relationship. But with the Queen of Cups and looking at the Eight of Cups, somebody is still very much in love. Very, very much in love. And, again, male, female, water sign, it doesn't matter to me. But Cap, if that's you, I think that there is also a part of you that has like kind of backed off from your partner, even though you're very much in love with them. When it comes to, the physical connection, you, I think, need to have a little bit more because you may be tired of the routine. And with the Seven of Cups, we're talking about, fantasizing about how good the relationship could be, right? And you're trying to find the strength to hold on to that idea, that fantasy. But this would be, the both of you. The both of you can see how good things can be. But the only way that, you're going to be able to realize this, I think, is where retreat is coming through. Now, with the Eight of Cups, it could be, though, that Cap, every time you try to approach, my God, if I could talk right, let me slow down. Every time you try to approach your partner about emotional issues, they back off. And then the Ace of Swords, interesting. Alright. I don't like the Knight of Swords. For couples, it's even more difficult. For singles, it would be like somebody who feels like, I got to have a piece of that, right? Like I conquered something. But in a relationship, though, you may feel like this person is like too controlling and too forceful. And it's like they demand you to give them what they want. Like, Cap, you need to, give me what I want here, or I'm going to just drop this relationship. I'm so sorry, you guys. But with the Four of Cups, this is nothing new to you about this person. This is nothing new to you. And with the Five of Swords here, we're talking about overcoming feelings of inadequacy. You may feel like, there is something about you that just isn't good enough for this person for them to give you the kind of love that you could give them. And that may be something that you are fighting with right now in your mind, right? And it's like, why is it that, you can have a physical connection with me, but where is the love? Where is that feeling? And that may be, where this is coming through. And, there is a part of you that backs off every time your partner like advances towards you. Like, wait a minute, because I love you, I care about you, but where is that from you? I don't like feeling like I'm not good enough to get that from you. But then with the Ace of Swords here, right, and finding the strength to, realize how good this relationship could be. This is about trust. So there is going to be a new beginning, definitely with the Ace of Swords, where there's going to be a little bit more trust with this person, I think, if this is the conversation that you're having with them. I think, and I'm hoping that they start to realize that this is how you feel, right? It may have been hard, though, for you to express that. But just, what I want to say to you, Cap, is hang in there. Spend some time with this person. And I don't mean just physical time together, right? Because I think you give this person everything that they want in terms of that. It's just, I want some love, I want some caring, I want some understanding, and I want to have